welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? Oh, yes, it is a great day, and I have a great day on purpose every single day. So if you get out on the wrong side of the bed, get back in bed and get on the right side of the bed and get out again. I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world, and I do it almost every day. I get out of bed on purpose on the good side of the bed, regardless of what that is. And I want to welcome my guests. See, now my guests have something a little bit different for you. Yes, authors, because I love authors. Authors have the imagination. They do the research. It's all on paper, guys. Literally, books are what we grew up with, like from day one, ABC. Like you wrote down in a book. This is amazing. Being an author is amazing. And if you have not written your first book, you need to get out there and do that. So we have two people on the show today, and I'm so excited to have them. We have Miss Dana and we have Saeed, and I want to welcome them both to the show.
Hi, how's it going?
Hey guys. So Dana, Miss Ladies First, tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so this is our debut novel. I've always loved writing. Ever since I was in kindergarten, I'd create like little I'd kind of create like stories on the back of scratch paper and crayon, and then staple like 10 staples on them and call that a story. But basically the gist of that is that I've always loved writing, and I followed that passion ever since then. So I went to Berkeley. I majored in English, was one of the people at the top of my class, and after that, I wanted to become an author, but of course that's not realistic until you become successful. So I pursued a career as a tech writer, and then being an author is my nighttime job until hopefully, it takes me somewhere.
I hear you. And Saeed.
Yo.
Hi. Tell me about yourself.
Hi. Well, I'm an avid reader, to be honest. I read a lot. It's just something that I've been doing since I was born. I've been working in the GCC, which is the MENA region in the Middle East, basically, in the construction sector, and as a business development manager and director. And in my spare time, I used to read. What I did is basically read. So about like 6 years ago, we came up with an idea. It's like an uncle niece project. Dana used to. She always spent summers in Lebanon. So I said, why not cooperate on a novel? And that's how the idea of Einstein in the attic was born.
I love the title.
That's
wow.
how we collaborated across 2 continents for over 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lengthy project. Yeah. And then also, I remember the idea hatched when we were talking about kind of like the general idea of faith and theism and whether there's a God or not. And we realized that both of us kind of struggled with that notion back in different periods of our life. So for me, for example, I struggled with it during high school because I remember it's kind of funny, but so there was like a lot of religious people in my high school, so they would kind of enforce their ideas on you, and then that would push me away, just kind of being the rebellious teenager I was, and that caused me to think of, a lot about faith and whatnot. And Saeed thought about it ever since he was 18, and of course, like 5 years ago, we both had our own set of beliefs, but with the world events going on at the time, I think it was like a little bit before Trump got elected, and a lot of stuff was going on back then that kind of caused, that caused a conversation where we were saying how we're pretty sure a lot of people were wondering about the current events going on, and that caused them to wonder, if there's a God, why would all of this bad stuff happen? And what's the answer to that? So we realized that that topic was a fairly common topic a lot of people thought about. And we figured, why not make an entertaining book about it? So the book,
exactly.
like yeah, go ahead, Said.
Yeah, the thing is, it's about the problem of evil. The idea of evolution just presenting itself as a that's the 100% truth scientifically, it just wandered in our head, you know, because basically evolution would negate the concept of God, you know. So and to put things together, we started to address the problem of evil, you know, war, you know, growing up in a society where in a country where they had civil wars, and we've always had wars and so on. It brings a lot of question into your mind and into the mix, you know. And then when you're looking for answers, you have the beliefs, and you have the different beliefs, and you have the scientific theory, the scientific answer, which is the theory of evolution. And we just looked at it, and we researched it, and then things just kept going from the US to Lebanon, US, you know, across 2 continents. And when Dana was here in summer, we had a lot of research, a lot of writings and rewrites. Then we came up with the idea of the story.
Yeah, it was 6 years of research. That's, you know, so we're making sure all of the science was accurate in terms of, you know, the evolutionary theory, irreducible complexity, etc. And then we also had to research. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that was the hard part. The hard part.
Yeah, and then we also had to research the philosophers, of course, since those were real people. We had to make sure, you know, their tones were correct, their biographies were accurate, their mannerisms, their hobbies, everything. Because, I mean, we wanted them to be 3-dimensional people like they are. So we had to make sure everything was accurate. Because obviously, if there were like some inconsistencies or errors, people wouldn't be too happy with that.
Definitely. Wow. So 6 years of research.
Yeah.
And then you have the book.
Yeah. 5 years of research, and then 1 year when we were pitching it and so on.
Right. So what made it into the book? Because I totally agree with you. It's like, okay, so if God really does exist, how can man say that they know God?
Right. Well, the story, it's about an immigrant. His name is Adam. He grows up in the civil war in Lebanon, and that, of course, exposes him to a lot of terrible sights that cause him trauma and, you know, unresolved conflictions about the world and whatnot. So basically, he immigrates over to the US expecting and hoping for a better life with his parents, but everything goes downhill from there. You know, everything becomes worse and worse and worse. And that kind of triggers his belief in God, you know. So that's where the theme of, you know, if a God exists, why is all of this why are all of these terrible things happening? You know, why does the problem of evil exist? So years pass on, and he becomes a professor at UC Berkeley. So that's like homage to, you know, my alumni. And basically he meets another professor. His name is Muntz, and they become friends. And Muntz kind of is as curious as Adam about the, you know, whether a God exists or not. And he says, well, I'm building a time machine. And obviously he says it in a much more complicated manner, not just like, oh, hi, I'm Muntz, I'm building a time machine, you want to hop on aboard? It's done in a very kind of a secretive manner, because obviously that notion in real life would be a very scary one. You know, authorities would question you. You would probably lose your, you know, your professor, your reputation as a professor and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, anyway, so at the same time, Adam, he's kind of going through like kind of a depression in his life where, sure, he's pushed off all of that unresolved trauma from his childhood, but he realizes it's affected everything. So it's affected his interest in his career. He's not as passionate as he used to be. It's affected his marriage, where he just doesn't have any energy to give. You know, he hasn't started a family yet. He's kind of, he has a very negative outlook towards life. So he's a very unhappy person. And then he meets Muntz, and then Muntz brings up that idea. And at the same time, Adam is given kind of an ultimatum by his boss where he has to step up and bring some interesting research to the scientific department, and present it as like, new compelling evidence or some kind of discovery he's made, so he can stay and work at the school, especially since he's been getting such negative reviews from his students. So from there, they summon Einstein, and they have to find, I believe, 3 pieces of evidence to suggest that a God exists, or at least to disprove the notion that God does not exist.
The thing is, what happens is there's an altercation with one of the professors in the university, and which puts Adam at risk of losing his job and so on.
Yeah.
So once he already zapped the 4 philosophers / scientists, which are Einstein and Spinoza. The thing is, Einstein believed in Spinoza's God, by the way, and he loved his philosophy. So that's why we brought Spinoza in, and he was a very smart guy. And we've got Newton, who's also his theories basically, and his discoveries opened the door for the Enlightenment in a way. And his rule of physics laws that he came up with basically ruled for quite some time. And Kierkegaard, who's the father of existentialism per se. So we've put them all together in this mix, and Adam utilized them to help him find answers to his for the greatest question of all time, and at the same time help him with the debate. So in order to keep his job, his wife, his house, and so on, So they go and discover where the gaps in the evolution theory, and they choose three let's say gaps, or 3 main gaps where the math doesn't add up, and they utilizing what we've discovered now in the 21st century, and the tools that we have, to find the truth. And they choose these 3 let's say gaps. They investigate it, and they go through adventures, and
yeah, they travel place to place.
They don't,
and they chat with different professors, and also,
exactly.
So this book, it's written.
They don't choose this.
Yeah, go ahead, Said.
We don't take sides. That's the beauty of the story. Yeah. We just present
it's very fair.
We don't trash the evolution theory. Say, wait a minute, what about this? It just doesn't. The math doesn't add up. I'm not gonna say it because I'm gonna ruin the story for you guys if you want to read it. But it makes you think. Well, look at it. Let's think about this. It just, the math doesn't add up, and so on and so on, till Einstein figures it out and helps him. It's a very interesting story, and you'll love it. I think.
Yeah, and then also the story. I mean, of course, the theme of our story, it involves research, right? So we were worried our readers, we didn't want our readers to think of it as a textbook or something, because that's not what it is. No. So we created an actual story around the entire theme of that, So we utilized the Hollywood screenplay formula, which is 8 sequences. There's a beginning, middle, end, obviously, but within that, there's like different events in each sequence,
and so on. There's an
so that keeps it very entertaining and interesting to readers. So it reads, so it's an actual story with that theme. And we also incorporated a lot of entertaining dialogue between the philosophers and with Adam, and how they react to the current world. And And also, you know, how we also sprinkled humor. We added a lot of humor to keep to keep the readers hooked. There's a lot of cliffhangers at the end of each chapter. And we're glad that it kind of succeeded in that way, because a lot of the reviewers, you know, whatever they were commenting on what they liked about the book, they said that it read like an actual story, and it also provided a lot of things for the readers to learn about. And it was also very entertaining and kept people hooked. So, for example, I remember one reader, she's like, well, I only read nonfiction stuff. And we told her, well, this has a bit of nonfiction, but it's also going to keep you engaged with the, you know, with some of its other aspects. And after that, she loved it. She gave it 5 stars, and she did a review about it on her blog. And she said, you know, I'm really happy I read this.
Nice.
Yeah, and then also we had, I think, like 2 other professors side, or a couple of professors that read
we had
the
one
novel, and they loved it.
One health.
Yeah, one was a professor of medicine. Another was a professor of philosophy, I think.
Philosophy,
they both loved it. They're like, everything is very accurate, you know, all the information. It's very entertaining to readers, and you know, they're kind enough to write us full reviews for the books. So those are on both Goodreads and Amazon.
Nice.
If you guys are interested in those, yeah.
Definitely, definitely. You know, I have a question for you guys. And I mean, I mean, 6 years of studying. So you said 5 years of studying and then the 1 year to put everything together. Am I correct?
Yeah. So it was actually, it was like, so I remember it was like 5 years of studying and writing on and off, and then 1 year of pitching to publishing companies. Yeah.
Okay. So
because at the time I was in university, so we, you know, we had to like stop. We had to work on it and then stop, work on it and stop. So then when COVID hit, we actually had that lengthy period of time to actually work on it, you know? So that was actually to our benefit, even though it was such a horrible event.
And I remember on the 4th of August, this is something you have, it's quite interesting. It's quite sad, but quite interesting as well. On the 4th of August, 2020, I received an email from her. It's the last email before the finishing chapter. So I was like, when I was just opening the email, I saw the windows shock. Just they shook. So I ran because I know when Windows, it's either a blast or an earthquake. So I looked at the chandelier. There was it wasn't moving, so I knew it was a blast. But so I ran at home and said, told the kids, "Don't be afraid, don't be afraid." And the blast never came. The boom never came. So I ran and I knew something happened. And when I opened just the news directly, it was like one of the biggest explosion in human history, you know, and that occurred in Beirut, like around, it was like about 50 kilometers away, which is 35 miles away from my home, or 30 miles something. So we were just pondering about the problem of evil, and there it happened, you know. It's something, you know, this is, it's something really, and when the images came in, you know, on social media, it kept, and we're talking to friends and families and so on. It's just, you know.
That's that blast on that edge of the water thing, right? Or was it? Was that warehouse?
Exactly.
Oh my God!
We felt it 35 miles away. We felt it 35 miles away. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's scary.
Imagine that. It is.
No,
it is.
I don't want to imagine that.
Just...
No.
Yeah, I remember what's it called? The news was saying like 300,000 are homeless. A lot of people had unfortunately passed away, or they suffered severe issues, which to this day, some people are still passing away from those injuries.
Oh my gosh.
And the scar still, in our country, the scar still exists. And after this, we've been passing through one of the worst economic collapse in mankind as well. It's written on, I think, in New York Times or Wall Street Journal, and we had COVID.
Yeah.
And we were pondering about the problem of evil. So you can think about that. So
yeah. I remember, you know, that plus COVID, and like there's so much happening at the time when we were writing the book. We're just like, you know, this is perfect for the book. I mean, these unfortunate events, it's crazy how one thing was coming right after the other, but we're pretty sure people were having the same, you know, they were thinking the same. They're like, you know, what is up with all of this evil? It's so, it was very sad.
Definitely. I just have one more question for you guys. You know, with all of the studying that you've done, what kind of a decision have you made about the existence of God?
Well, that's a good question. The thing is, well, we leave it to the story for the proof, but there must be an intelligent designer behind things, behind what we have now. Things just on its own, if you throw time at it and think time will fix it, well, think again and read the story and look into physics and chemistry and so on. It just doesn't add up. So that's what there must be. See what I mean?
Yes, definitely. Dana?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I agree that we don't know everything.
Yeah,
we don't know
absolutely.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's,
you know, you can only gain so much knowledge and kind of make an interpretation from that knowledge, but you won't be given a definite answer.
Yeah, we should be brave enough to say we don't. You know what I mean? Regardless what you believe, it's not that what matters. It's just what's the reality, what's the facts are, and what's reason. That's our main. That's what differentiates us from the other species on Earth.
Yeah,
we can
and
reason,
you know, a lot. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. So as long as we have reason, and we put it into. We put everything into its under the microscope. Let's see what we know and be brave to say what we don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and because a lot of people, they'll kind of, you know, even if they're ignorant, they'll pretend they have all of this knowledge, and they'll just deny that they don't know.
Yeah.
So that requires a bit of courage as well. And also, you know, while Said was talking, I just remembered how a few days ago I saw this article about how the Lebanese people were apparently one of the most angry, the angriest countries of all time. I'm just like, they have every reason to be, because, you know, with the economic collapse, with the explosion, with, you know, and, you know, with the corruption in their country, they have every reason to be, you know, and that also, that made me remember the book as well, because, you know, there's a bit of, you know, there's like a tiny sprinkling of every one of those issues in the book, especially since, you know, there's a bit of the Civil War going on at the beginning. Wow. So, you know, we really feel like, or I guess I should say, we hope that this book will inspire people as well, because I mean, sure, it gives a lot of information for people to make their own interpretation of the world. But, you know, with each character you created, you know, with Adam, with Muntz, with his wife Evie, and with the philosophers as well, you know, each one has their own want and need and their own histories. And there's character growth in the novel for each one of them. So we feel that the reader will become inspired by each one of those characters, and they'll resonate with them as well. Since, you know, for those characters, we made sure to make them three-dimensional as well.
Right.
So there's definitely I feel like there's definitely something in each one of those characters that will resonate with the reader.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Einstein in the Attic is on where?
Is on Amazon and Barnes and Noble's online site.
Awesome. We're going to put that information in the description box below. You know, I agree with you guys. You can do all the research and you can research until you're blue in the face. You can't breathe anymore. You die. That's when you'll find
Pretty
out.
much.
That's when you'll find out. You know,
yeah, exactly.
When you're gone,
there will be your answer.
Yeah,
there will be an answer waiting
right,
for you on the other side. And I think a lot of people are scared to be on the other side. But where did you come from?
Yeah.
Before birth, where were you?
Exactly. all of it's connected. One question leads to another. It's kind of like a ring cycle.
Exactly.
Not the horror movie The Ring.
No, please no. I'm aware of some of the horror movies. No. But definitely, guys, thank you so much, Saeed. Please be careful.
Cheers.
Be careful. Oh my gosh. I don't want to imagine what you're going through, in your country and everything. It's sad enough to go through what anybody would go through in their own country, when it comes to what's going on in your country, to what's going on in all the other countries, like the Ukraine and even in the United States. I mean, being dark skinned is not a good thing here.
Oh yeah, I mean, with all those rules,
that's something is quite intriguing. I just don't get it, with the here, I just don't get it. What's the matter with the skin color? I don't get it.
I get it every day.
Where's the issue?
I don't see an issue.
I don't
either.
See any problem,
but apparently there is. Apparently someone else has made it an issue, and they put it upon us to be the issue, and we don't know what's going on. Basically,
I mean,
what?
It's sad because you think that the U.S. would have progressed after all of these years, and now it's just like, okay, well, all of these people have just shown that we've gone back like 50 years or more.
Yes,
I'm just like, okay, great. People say that we're developed and everything. This has shown that we're not, and we still have a lot of work to do.
Oh, we have a lot of work.
Unfortunately.
Yes, we do. We do.
It's really frustrating.
And I wish that people would just stop it and look. We're on this big earth together.
Yeah.
Which means we are the human race. It's not like as if, okay, so let me ask you a question, Saeed. Do you have roaches where you live? You have roaches?
Not much.
But you do, right?
There is outside there.
Outside? Okay, Dana, do you have roaches where you live?
Unfortunately, a little bit, yeah. They pop out at night.
Are they any different? Are they roaches where you live? Are they still roaches, Saeed? Are they still roaches? They're roaches, right? Yeah. Dana, are they roaches?
Yeah, they're still roaches.
They're not like different color roaches, like the white roach and the brown roach and the Puerto Rican roach, right? No, they're just roaches, right?
Still nasty little buggers.
Right. So literally, I'm a human being, and Dana, you're a human being, and Saeed, you're a human being. Do we change?
I can't see the difference.
Do we change?
Absolutely no.
If I go to where you live, Dana, am I less of a human? Are you less of a human if you come where I am?
No.
Saeed, are we less of humans if we go if we both go down or go over where you are?
No.
So then that's where I live. I don't see the difference. Exactly. I believe that there's all kinds of different roaches now, but we all call them roaches. It doesn't matter. It's a roach. It doesn't matter. Exactly. It's still a roach. Kill it. It's a roach, but at the same time, it's like people think of us as roaches.
Yeah.
Dark-skinned people are considered roaches. We're considered the ones that you're to kill because of our skin color, not because we're bad people or good people or different or anything. It's just we were born with a color that we can't control, and now we're outcasts.
Yeah, same thing with Arabs. We're Arab, but
I don't care.
I don't see any problem.
Really bad.
Why do you have to control it?
Yeah, and I did my DNA. I have Middle Eastern in my family.
Oh, nice.
I don't care. We're people. I have my family. I love my family. I love all of my family. I have Black people in my family. I got Middle Eastern people in my family, African, obviously, Scandinavia, Irish.
Oh, wow.
Okay, in my family, and they're my family.
Yeah.
All colors. All different colors, all different skin types, hair types. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. So
yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. When we get to the point where we can be like, we don't understand God, but we know that there is a God. When we get over to the other side, there will be that understanding. And I'm going to tell you, God is amazing and beautiful if he created all of us.
Exactly.
Isn't it wonderful? I mean, look at us. We can't be looking the same. We'd be like robots. This is beautiful. The colors, the hair, the beauty. Like, you're so pretty, Dana. And then look at Saeed. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like we're all beautiful and we're all humans. And I love your book because it brings it together. It brings that study together. It makes it all come to to the point where, look,
it
people,
unites people in that sense. Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. There you go. And that's what I love about your book.
Thank you.
I think people should really look into that. You've taken the time to study it. You've taken the time to put the time and the effort and the stories and all that stuff together. And I think it deserves a look read. So if you guys are interested, we're going to go ahead and put the link in the description box below for you to find that. And remember that there is a creative designer here that designed everyone. Because when you have colors, why not use them? Yeah. I want to thank you guys so much. And thank you guys so much for doing it and showing that human and humanity and then love and then research, all of that can be in one package. And that is your book, Einstein in the Attic. You got to go ahead and check it out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye.